A success.
He's all business, and I like that. I mean, that's a good thing.
And while the president says the two superpowers made several trade deals, there were no major advances on getting China to help end the war in Iran, and no changes in stances on Taiwan. However, artificial intelligence was a big topic.
And we're leading by a lot, but they're second and they're very strong. And we talked about possibly working together for guardrails.
The president talked about lifting sanctions on Chinese oil companies doing business with Iran. He says the Chinese pushed President Trump to make that move, but no decisions have been made.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence, the president says that while President Xi wants the Strait of Hormuz open, he's agreed to send ships to the U.S. to buy American oil, and he says China's agreed to buy 200 Boeing planes. China has not confirmed any of those deals. The death toll from a Russian missile attack that flattened a Kyiv apartment building rises to 24, including 3 teenagers.
It's been described as some of the worst Russian attacks of the war. Ukraine's foreign minister said when President Trump and Chinese leader Xi met in Beijing, they should have applied pressure on Moscow to halt the fighting.
Fox's Greg Palcott. The Texas Supreme Court today refused to declare the Democratic lawmakers who briefly fled the state in 2025 to block a vote on new congressional maps pushed by President Trump, that they had vacated their office. The all-Republican court dealt a blow to Governor Greg Abbott and state Republicans in their efforts to severely punish the more than 50 Democrats who bolted for other states in a bid to stop a vote on those maps. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring partly sunny skies with a breeze reaching a high of 76. Tonight, expect mainly clear conditions with a chance of a thunderstorm in a few areas late as temperatures drop to a low of 61. Tomorrow will be warmer with a mix of clouds and sunshine and a chance of a thunderstorm in some areas during the afternoon with a high of 83. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Larry Elder didn't see any coverage.
This is in 2018. After litigation backed by Democrat-aligned groups, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court threw out the GOP congressional map. A new map drawn by the court dramatically shifted outcomes. It went from 13 Republicans, 5 Democrats, to 9 and 9. Overnight. Where were you when that happened? Where was the media?
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
So many people are living every day with pain that they just think they're stuck with it. It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be. I want to tell you about a letter I got from Oregon, a guy named George, and his Relief Factor story. George, hardworking guy, spends 10 hours a day in a garbage truck. Tough job, made even tougher because he's dealing with a sore right knee that just wouldn't bend. But here's the amazing part. George started taking Relief Factor, and it changed his life. And he said in his letter to me, and I quote, "I can bend my knee again with very little pain." I can relate to George. There was a time when I wondered if I could continue working because my pain was so bad. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live better every day. Give their 3-week quick start a try, $19.95. A few weeks, even days, you'll feel the difference that Relief Factor can make in your life. You don't have to be stuck living with the pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4, RELIEF.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Sean Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
You know, protecting your home should not be a headache. Many security companies, they lock you into these multi-year contracts. No, Simply Safe Home Security, they do things differently. With Simply Safe, you get award-winning 24/7 professional monitoring around $1 a day without any long-term commitment. Simply Safe, they just want to earn your trust every day by doing a great job. Right now, you'll get 50% off your custom system by going to simplysafe.com/Hannity. Half off when you go to simplysafe.com/Hannity. And remember, there's no safe like Simply Safe.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me on The Real Story today. This is Steve McClurg. He is a state senator from Central Illinois, and this is him just 2 days ago on the Senate floor during a debate about the appointment of the new, well, she's actually been in the administration for a while, but an appointment of Dulce Quintero for Department of Human Services, a $14 billion organization. Here's what Steve McClurg had to say.
About a year and a half ago, we discovered that DHS was intentionally mailing everyone who was a non-citizen who was applying for benefits pre-filled out voter registration forms to go directly to their local county clerk. And I think, as all of us know, the county clerk can no longer verify citizenship. And this is something that I've talked to DHS about behind the scenes now for over a year and a half. I recently had a discussion with the secretary before the confirmation hearing in the Executive Appointments Committee, and I was assured that the secretary would look into this. This is very concerning, and the only response that I got at the hearing was that, yes, I can confirm that that is taking place. So we have a DHS that is mailing people who are not eligible to vote pre-filled out voter registration forms. So they are registering to vote, I can only assume. And that's bad for two reasons. It's bad for the immigrant because that is a cardinal sin. If you're applying to be a permanent resident or a citizen, you will never be a citizen, you will never be a permanent resident legally if you cast a vote as if you are already an American citizen. So that's bad for the immigrant, and it's also, of course, bad for the security of our elections. The fact that the secretary insisted, I'm going to look into this, we're going to do, and then all we got was confirmation, which I already got a year and a half ago, that this is still going on. I was also told there'd be follow-ups after this, and this is going to be taken care of. This is a real problem. I mean, this is like really bad. So I think at the very least we should vote no, but there's some real issues here. And while the secretary is a very nice person, that agency is being run terribly right now, and the outstanding issues and legal issues are very concerning. So for those reasons, I do urge a no vote.
And of course, that passed on a partisan line. Democrats voting for it, Republicans voting against. Well, here to discuss that and much more about what's going on in Springfield is State Senator Terri Bryant. She's from the 58th Senate District, and she joins us now. She weighed in on that debate on the floor. Terri, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me today, Jeanne. It's that issue, I can elaborate on it, and then there are others, but very concerning that she was called for confirmation and that she was ultimately confirmed.
Yes, I also watched part of the hearing in which she could not answer any of the pertinent questions and then promised follow-up to both the Republicans and Democrats. And according to State Senator Jason Plummer and others, she never provided any follow-up to their numerous questions they had about how she was going to control that agency. It's a $14 billion agency.
Yeah, and her salary is, I believe it's $212,000.
Well, I mean,
per year.
Okay, so is this still true? Are we still having slipping in pre-filled out forms for voter registration into packets for illegals that come into contact with DHS?
Yeah, we have gotten no information that any of this has changed. So what happens is an individual will get a kind of a full packet, multiple pages, multiple issues. In the middle of that, not only is the form filled out, but there is an addressed envelope that goes to the county clerk that is applicable for that individual. So what should happen is everything's returned to DHS. DHS confirms that the person is, in fact, a citizen. Then they mail that to the State Board of Elections, who also confirms that they are a citizen. And then the State Board of Elections should be mailing that to the county, because the county is prohibited from checking on citizenship. So we have a 2-point
Hey,
check.
can I pause you right there? Because I remember when I was in the state legislature, you were in the House with me, and this bill was passed, I believe, in 2016, where the Democrats wanted additional points of contact to register a voter, and one of them was Department of Human Services. And the reason this seemed to be, I mean, I'm not okay with it. I think you should want to go and register to vote, and you should make that affirmative case to do it. But I understand. Okay. But the thing that made it somewhat okay is that it had to go to the Secretary of State, and it had to be confirmed for citizenship. And so at least this was a way to weed out any bad registrations.
Yeah, so it's a double verification, but that is being totally skipped over, not to mention the fact that when the individual who may not be super fluent in English mails that in, they have now made themselves a felon and also made it impossible for them to ever be a citizen, and it's automatic deportation. So they're being set up in that way if they're caught.
Well, I want to question the fact that Dulce Quintero is even, qualified for this position. I was looking at her resume, and of course, the third thing that came up when I Googled her name was this Chicago's LGBT Hall of Fame. And of course, she's in that Hall of Fame, and she's got a bachelor's degree from the University of California, Davis, and she's committed to harm reduction practice, innovative organizational development, and trauma-informed work. And that's all her qualifications. She's essentially a community activist prior to getting this position. It appears, at least in this particular biography. And I just, I don't know. There's a lot of problems with developmentally disabled people not getting the services that they need. You've got a lot of behavioral and mental health problems. You've got rehabilitation problems. I just think I think it's a huge, huge department, and it doesn't seem for her to be qualified.
Yeah, and even the problems we've had, like at DCFS, and Department of Corrections, those agencies are not as large as the full DHS, and it is not being run in an efficient manner, nor is it being run in a way that helps the people they're supposed to help. So there's a lot of taxpayer dollars being wasted, unaccounted for, and in the particular case that Steve McClure mentioned, I hope we're going to be able to get the DOJ here to take a look at what is happening there. I'm trying to get them here to look at DOC, but they need to be looking at DHS as well.
So they have oversight, if I'm not wrong, don't they have oversight on food stamps and Medicaid eligibility?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And well, we know that our food stamp rolls are, lots of fraud there. We're expecting a $700 million penalty because we're past the threshold for the federal government where they say now you get penalized because you have so many bad people on the rolls. I mean, I'm not talking about bad people. I'm talking about people who shouldn't be on the rolls that are on the rolls. And she can't seem to solve this problem either.
I don't think she's trying to solve the problem. In my opinion, she's trying to get more people added on. And when we start skirting the safeguards that the legislature has put up, then of course we're going to have problems. And I think Senator Plummer said, if we're just going to confirm people who are unqualified, no matter what happens at the committee level, then why do we even have the committee, the committees at all? Let's just do away from those. That was tongue in cheek. He didn't really mean that we shouldn't have them, but it was, a little satirical. And the point is, we're supposed to flush all of this out in committee. And when that doesn't flush out the way the Democrats want, they just go around it. They circumvent it.
Yeah, well, I have a lot that I could talk to you about, so I'm going to move on. But I think that I think what you heard from McClurg and from you, if anybody else listened to the Senate debate on that, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they are just passing people into big positions without any true vetting, and that's really problemsome. Okay, I want something that's on a lot of people's mind, and we get asked a lot about it up here. I don't know about in your area. You're down in far southern Illinois, but it does affect everybody. And this build plan. This is that plan where they're going to take all the zoning that you typically have at the local level, and they're going to move it up to the state level so that, guess what, those granny flats and those 4 squares, those 4 can go right in the middle of a neighborhood when somebody sells a property.
We're hearing a lot about it as well, Jeannie, because but some of it is in the opposite direction, because there's a lot of misinformation, I think, being passed out there by the realtors. So the realtors, who are good folks, they're your next door neighbors, their association is telling them this is really going to be good for their industry, blah, blah, blah. And if they really had the opportunity to dig deeply into this, it's not good for their industry. And I'm really glad that the Illinois Municipal League has come out with a different plan, and that now people are beginning to see anytime you take local control away, it's not good for the average citizen. So I'm hopeful that the realtors will begin to wake up and see that this is not good for their industry or any of the people that they would sell properties to.
Do you think that the plan passes in the end, or some version of it?
Well, I'm sure some version of it, because at this point it seems like anything that J.B. Pritzker wants, his legislative allies pass for him, even like we were talking about with Secretary Contreras. It's clear that, that some of these things are really not good for anyone, and we'll still see some version of it. So I don't know. Some of the Democrats I'm hearing, quietly in receptions after the day when we're in Springfield, that they're getting sick of getting pushed around by J.B. Pritzker, and that often things are thrown at them where no one's even talked to them. When they look a little bit deeper, they realize it's very bad. They don't want to be put in that position. So if they believe that they're going to be put in a bad position, especially now that there is an alternative plan out there, or sunlight on build being so bad, then possibly they'll keep that from being called, just so there's no embarrassment.
All right, moving on, because this bill is in the Senate right now, and that's that mega project Bears deal. Can you give us any update on that? From what I could tell, did anything happen in the Senate on this? I mean, we're running out of time towards the end of May here.
So far, I'm not getting a lot of information on it, primarily because everything is top secret, kind of like when they did the remapping, where you had to have the secret knock to even get in the door. This is top secret, but if anyone reads Cap Facts or some of the other media outlets, you'll see that there was a top secret memo, we'll call it a top secret memo, that was disseminated, and it looks very much like there were conversations, or are conversations, going on between the House and Senate Dems and the governor's office. So they're looking at it, even though they continue to say that the Senate is not having conversations. And I'm using broad strokes with all of this, but it does look like there are secret conversations going on. As of today, I don't believe that there's anything that can come that's good for the taxpayers. There were some Republicans that voted for a bill in the House that was not complete, and I think there were some projects that were in the legislation that came over from the House specifically designed to drag those Republicans in tough to vote no when your district is going to get something out of it. But we know that bill was not real, it's not going anywhere. I don't know what the final bill will look like, but so far I don't think it's good for Illinoisans.
Well, that is interesting because the CTU is out with op-eds also saying that they don't like the bill because they think it steals education dollars from there. Now, I don't know that that's true, quite frankly, and this is a huge conversation about how much that they...
Hello?
Yeah, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Terry, are you there? Did we lose Terry?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Terry. I don't know what happened to the phone lines there. Okay. Well, we're going to take a break here. Maybe we can get her right back for a couple more questions. You're listening to The Real Story.
Subscribe to the Real Story podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
You know I don't push products I don't believe in, so listen up because this one I love and recommend to friends and listeners. It's Virago Liquid Immune Support. Now I spoke with Dr. Hubert, the creator of Virago, and let me tell you, this man knows immune health like nobody's business. He explained to me the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body fights back against viruses, disease, inflammation, all of it. That's why he created Virago. It's a liquid immune boosting supplement packed with 23 powerful nutraceuticals working together in synergy. It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even protects your heart, kidneys, and liver. And because it's liquid, your body absorbs it quickly. I mix Virago in my smoothies. I feel the difference, and you will too. So order your bottle of Virago today at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com and use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. myvirago.com, coupon code IMMUNE.
In a world where more and more people decide what's right and wrong based on how they feel, what happens when feelings become the only moral standard? If emotions alone define truth, then who decides why murder, theft, or violence are wrong? And if someone feels justified in destroying property or harming others, on what basis can society say they're wrong? For 50 years, Dennis Prager has challenged audiences around the world to think deeply about the moral foundations of civilization. In his new book, If There Is No God, he confronts the biggest questions of human existence. Why does evil go unpunished? Why do innocent people suffer? And can morality survive without God? Whether a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between, this book offers serious answers for a morally confused age. Clear, provocative, and accessible. If There Is No God by Dennis Prager. Available now at pragerstore.com. That's pragerstore.com. AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we've got her back. It's State Senator Terri Bryant. We were talking about that Bears and that mega project proposal, and the Illinois Federation of Teachers released a mega project mega loss calculator. It says it quantifies how much towns and schools stand to lose under mega projects legislation in the General Assembly. The teachers union said the current bill signifies the largest transfer of responsibility for revenue to fund schools and services from private developers to individual property owners in the state's history. Yeah, I think this will be a problematic in that you're going to get big developers a massive 40-year tax break that everybody else wants. But I disagree. That this is actually going to take money out of the schools writ large. There's a lot more. This is a lot more problematic than just this short thing, but also Does anybody think the Illinois Federation of Teachers who can't teach kids basic math, do you think that their calculator means a damn thing? Just asking. Anyway, Terry, we're back with you. What say you on this one? Is she there? How come I can't hear her? Got another problem. All right. Well, we're just going to have to move on from that one, I guess. Too bad, because I had some more questions for Terry, Bryant. I don't know why we've got a phone system here going on, but we're going to take a call here from Ron in Countryside. Ron, welcome to the program.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the more I listen to your program, the more I appreciate it. And you guys put out a lot of good information. I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Ron. That's wonderful. Have a great weekend. Okay, by the way, it is a Free for All Friday coming up after our next break, and that phone number here is 312-642-5600 if you would like to weigh in. I know when I was on with State Senator Bryant, we were talking also about transparency, and she's saying this entire deal is being put together behind closed doors. Only the top Democrats, obviously Pritzker, involved in this. So whatever comes out of that secret room, it's not going to be good for taxpayers, because nothing that they've done has been good for taxpayers at all. Speaking of that, too, we've got another big story here, and I don't know if people have picked up on this, but Morton Salt is leaving Chicago. Well, who's next? I mean, for me, the Morton Arboretum is right near where I live. It's in the town next door. And this is what happens when you have companies leave, like Morton Salt, that have created, huge community assets like the Morton Arboretum. When they leave, guess what? All of that money leaves as well. Now, I imagine they're going to keep that going. There's probably some sort of foundation underlying it. But the next Morton Arboretum is not going to be developed when you have big companies leaving Illinois, and that's what's happening. And Center Square had the story there, and they say, this is Chris Balkema. He says, it's absolutely a trend. The overall scenario that keeps playing out in Illinois is the higher taxes, the inability for us as a General Assembly right now to dial down the workers' compensation laws, and the lack of tort reform. Companies run the numbers and look at the cost of doing business in Illinois, and it becomes easy for them to make a decision to relocate to another state. And speaking of that, all of those worker comp laws come and business regulations, guess where? It all comes through the Labor and Commerce Committee. And I played for you yesterday what the Labor and Commerce Committee was concerned about. And what was that? That was menstrual equity. That's what it was all about on the work site, on a construction work site. You heard portions of that. It went on for well over a half-hour debate on whether or not companies need to provide on construction site menstrual products to women. I mean, it's just like they're not serious down there is my point. They're not serious about the things that they should be serious about. State Dan Ugasti echoed those concerns, saying businesses across Illinois continue to raise alarms about operating costs and the legal burden. Operating costs and the legal burden. You get sued for anything as a company in this state. We have been a judicial hellhole for a long time. My guess would be high property taxes, litigation costs, overregulation, and just the basic high cost of doing business in the state as compared to many other states in the country, Ugasti said of Morton Salt's decision. I know from when I was in the private sector, this has been an ongoing issue for some time, and it continues to increase. And by the way, I believe Ugasti was a work comp lawyer, so he knows the deal there. When a company moves, there is a certain tax base that's gone, Ugasti said. All those people will be out of jobs or relocating their jobs. And nobody hears this. Oh, they hear it, actually. Ugasti got up on the floor and said this very thing. I watched his speech on this. And it's just 100% ignored by the other side of the aisle. They don't care about business. So when they come to your door and they want your vote this fall, and they say they're all about business, do not believe them. And tell your neighbors don't believe them. Because the writing's on the wall. We now just lost Morton Salt. I mean, they've been here, I don't know, probably well over 100 years. And they're gone. That's it. Meanwhile, Illinois has the highest combined state and local tax rate again, Walt Hub says. Highest in the country. That's right. Well, we've got a lot to discuss. Lineup of calls, 312-642-5600. We'll be right back after this break for Free for All Friday.
For over a decade, AM 560 has marked the start of summer with a night of cigar smoking and great conversation. And this year, we're proud to welcome the editor-in-chief of Breitbart News to Cigar Night. He's Alex Marlowe, and he'll join AM 560's Dan Proft and Sean Thompson on Tuesday, May 19th at Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove for a night you won't forget. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/cigar. That's 560theanswer.com/cigar. Sponsored by Liberty Cigar Company.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Trump is on his way back from a two-day summit with the leader of China where they talk trade, Taiwan, and Iran.
It is foreign policy dominating the day after the summit. The president says two major issues of mutual concern came up. First, Taiwan, which China claims as its own. The president said he made no firm commitment on what the U.S. would do if China were to invade Taiwan. And when it comes to Iran, the president says China wants to help end the conflict.
That's Fox's Mark Meredith. Meantime, it's election eve in Louisiana, where a hotly contested Republican primary is shaping up.
Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy faces an uphill re-election battle as one of the few Republicans to vote in favor of convicting President Trump during his second impeachment. Cassidy faces Louisiana State Treasurer John Fleming and Louisiana Congresswoman Julia Letlow.
America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will bring partly sunny skies with a breeze reaching a high of 76. Tonight will be mainly clear, but there is a chance of a thunderstorm in one or two spots late with a low of 61. Tomorrow will be warmer with intervals of clouds and sunshine, and there is a possibility of a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon with a high of 83. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you, deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
When the seasons shift, you need a heating and cooling team you can trust to keep your home just right. That's where Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, the original, comes in. This family-owned gem has been a local favorite for more than 45 years, sending only their own top-notch, highly trained technicians to your door. Whether it's a quick repair, a full installation, or anything in between, their work is unmatched, and their customer service feels like family. Keeping you cozy in the winter and cool in the summer, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling delivers comfort you can count on. I've known Garrett and his family for years, and they are great friends of AM 560. Dial 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and enjoy 20% off your first service call. Again, go to arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, but absolutely the best.
Ready for a bathroom upgrade that won't disrupt your life? Jacuzzi Bath Remodel is here to help. Take the stress out of renovations with quick, professional service from the name America trusts. Affordable, stunning selection of tubs and showers, each designed with style, safety, and your budget in mind. With customizable features like grab bars and seats, your new bath or shower will meet your entire family's needs.
I absolutely love my new bathroom. It's very hard to believe that they
easy, get it done in one day. Jacuzzi really outdid themselves.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free design consultation and quote. Call 800-536-3306. That's 800-536-3306. 800-536-3306. With purchase and installation, financing through third-party lenders, subject to credit approval. No interest and no payments if paid in full within 12 months. Interest charged from purchase date if not paid in full. Not all will qualify. Call dealer for details.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878. AM 560. The Answer.
What day is today? Friday. You know what that means.
Stimulate your mind, man. It's Friday.
One day I'll have Friday on my mind.
It's Friday. Shouldn't you be off with your friends, scaring old people?
It's Friday, Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
No holds barred, free-for-alls.
After this Friday, the neighborhood will never be the same.
Might hit the highway on the Vegas run, fool, cause it's Friday. Oh, yeah.
Becomes a free-for-all.
It's finally Friday.
You know what happens here on Friday?
This type of free-for-all melee.
The phone lines are open. Call Jeannie and Amy now. 312-642-5600. It's time for Free for All Friday.
I do declare it's a free for all. Baby. Yeah, it's free for all.
All right, welcome back. It is Free for All Friday. 312-642-5600 is the number. And about Morton Salt, 173 years in Chicago. That's right. They were recently purchased, though, by a California investment firm. They laid off 120 employees, and they're headed to Overland Park, Kansas. Out of Illinois. Even a California investment firm knows it's better to get out of Illinois. With that, we're going to go to a couple of calls that want to talk about this. Let's go to Rusty in Villa Park. Rusty, welcome to the program.
Hi, Jeannie. Good morning. You covered a lot of ground in the last half hour. I kind of wanted to talk about the harm reduction lady too, but Morton Salt. It was important for our county board president and the county board of DuPage County to remove the archives to display the history of the Morton Salt from our gallery inside the DuPage County Courthouse.
Oh, I didn't know she did that. Deb Conroy, Miss Decriminalized Fentanyl, did that?
Don't even get me started with the fentanyl thing.
Okay.
I believe all that's gone now.
Yeah, so she wiped out Morton Salt, and she wiped out Henry Hyde's name. I mean, they're just trying to wipe out history.
Can I just talk about the hillbilly heroin lady?
Sure. It's free for all. Go ahead.
Okay. It irks me when people capitalize on other people's misery and the harm reduction industry and telling people it's okay to continue on in their lifestyle and not get the help that they actually need to address their addiction and change their life. We enable people to continue in that lifestyle and tell them it's okay, and it's not okay, and it kills people. It really does kill people.
Well, Rusty, I want to thank you for pointing out that the words that they use don't mean what they should mean. It's not really about harm reduction. It's about allowing them to continue to harm themselves, but in a safe way, which is why we have Narcan in the police department lobby, so you can pick it up before your drug party, or in the public libraries, like in Wheaton has.
Yeah, it's okay to hurt yourself just a little bit as long as we can manage it and make money off of it.
Yep, and then that's what we have for a DHS person. She's completely incompetent. Okay, Rusty, thanks a lot. I appreciate the phone call today. All right, on this same topic, let's go to Ed, who says that he wants to discuss people leaving Illinois in droves. Welcome to the program, Ed.
Hi, Jeannie. It's Ed Dring from Elgin. Hi. First of all, happy Friday. And I just want to let you know, I just absolutely love listening to you and Amy, and thank you for all you do. Well, I just became an advertiser on your radio station just about a week ago, a little over a week. And
thank you.
I just wanted to let you know. You're welcome. It's been so successful. It's actually quite scary. And as you may know me, as being part of the Republican Party in King County, and
I know you, Ed.
I try to engage people. And the more people that I engage with, the more frustrated they are. But I got to tell you, when we, it was horrible about Morton Salt leaving. But you know what? If we got to look at ourselves in the mirror, who's at fault? It's us, the Republicans who aren't engaged, who aren't voting. And I'd love for us to take responsibility. And it's just incredible the feedback I'm getting. There's so many people that they want to vote with their feet and leave Illinois, and it's just amazing how. If in a perfect world, everyone would be able to stay here and live affordably, but we just need to get engaged as Republicans, as conservatives. We really have to. So keep up the good work, and I wish I didn't have to have my website and just to help people, but there are people who are frustrated. Someone just got their tax bill last week. People on fixed income, their taxes just went up $800.
Yeah.
So it's not nice. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right, and they never ever go down. Even though the state says, "Oh, we're putting money into education. We want more money," but they have put in collectively in education about $15 billion in the last 9 years, additional from what they were doing before. This is off of that base. And have you seen a property tax bill drop? Not one bit. It's always spend more. And right now, 6 houses down from me is a middle school where they're building a massive addition to that they don't need because they have declining enrollment. They don't need this addition. They need to consolidate. They have schools that are like 70% full or less. And instead, they're building performing arts centers, and they put on a referendum for $151 million, and stupid voters voted for it.
And Jeannie, but that's the whole point, engagement. We need Republicans on the school board. I mean, in Elgin, in U46, there's no Republicans that want to jump in.
Yeah.
We have to get engaged, or else everyone's going to check out my website, leavingil.com. So, thank you.
All right.
So much.
Thank you. Leavingil.com. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate the phone call. Okay. A few text messages. Low voter participation rates are the problem. Yeah, that is true, especially because you pick the primary opponent against the Democrats. And if you don't engage in the primary, you're going to get sometimes a lousy candidate in the general. Let's see. 630 says Kraft Heinz is leaving for Philadelphia. Major corporate center from Glenview. A lot of people reverse commute. 224, Jabba B, taxing our way to another state's prosperity. That's a good line. Absolutely. Okay, Katie wanted to weigh in on this. Katie, let's talk to Katie in Arlington Heights.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I just had a quick question. With all this going on with the redistricting issues and the Supreme Court's recent win for those who are looking for a fair and objective process, we had almost 50% of Illinoisans vote in support of Trump, or 48 or 9%. We have no representation. So it seems like the timing right now is good. And what do we need to do to get this before the court Obviously, if it goes before a court in this state, we would lose. However, then it could be appealed to a higher level because we don't have fair and adequate representation. And so it is a matter of us being involved and people getting involved and including, like, as you just said, voting in the primaries. But we're not fairly represented as are some of these other states where there's no Republican seats.
Yeah, no, you're right. The whole northeast northeast section of the country has no Republican representatives at all. And there are Republicans there. In Illinois, where you have like pretty much a 44-55 split here, Republicans, Democrats, I think 18% of our congressmen are Republican. So that's unfair too. It's a gerrymandering issue. And I did file that lawsuit a week ago today to challenge the Voting Rights Act in Illinois because they do use race to draw the boundaries, and that is unconstitutional, and we're challenging them. So,
okay, is there anything else you can do right now, court-wise? And thank you for filing. That's a great lawsuit, and hopefully that'll prevail, and sooner than later.
But more than anything, Katie, we need to change people's minds. We need to wake them up, and we need to do whatever we can in that process, which is why I do what I do. It's essentially to provide information so people have ammunition to take to their neighbors, their friends, and others so that we can get a change in policy, because this policy hurts everybody in the state. All right. Thanks a lot, Katie, for the call. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Glenn, I want you to hang on, but I'm going to go to Amy first. Amy, my co-host, is calling in. Amy, welcome to the program.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Tom, I'm a news nerd, so soon I'm in Southern California. I'm stalking Spencer Pratt. No, I'm not really stalking Spencer Pratt, but I watch local news all the time, and Tom Steyer has an ad on every other ad. I mean, he is really pushing it hard here in California. And I don't know if you heard this, but the leading Democrat right now is Becerra. And what has he accomplished? Nothing. But he did a sit-down interview with KTLA, and you guys can play it from there, but it is unbelievable.
By the way, this is a profile piece. This is not a gotcha piece, right?
Well, look, I think these questions are fair. It's in order to learn about you as a candidate.
So long as it's about the profile.
I don't know how you define profile, but I'd like to begin the interview.
The way I describe profile is you talk about all the things that I've done, things I want to do, and along with some tough questions, but not only tough questions.
I mean, Jeanne, you've been a candidate, a gubernatorial candidate. You know, once you sit down and you're mic'd up, the camera's rolling, right?
Yeah.
The fact that his handler's like, just stop, just start the interview. But they want to, now that, they own the media, now they want to control what questions they're being asked. So good for KTLA for putting that out there. I thought that was really brilliant. But I think people here are starting to wake up. I mean, all I've been doing is talking to people. Like, hey, are you going to vote? I'm talking to old people that are here at this wedding this weekend, younger generation. You've got to vote. And a lot of them, like Hilton, the former Fox host, they're looking at him. And so I think that, and if Spencer Pratt wins in L.A., that is going to have, I think, a ripple effect across the country. I really hope that he wins.
We do need somebody who's going to, I guess, start the momentum to overturn these blue cities and these blue states. And certainly he's got the gravitas to do so. And it appears that he's got the support behind him. So, I'm looking forward to that. It'd be great.
And also one thing I just want to point out, do I have another minute or?
Yeah, you do.
Do I have to
No, you
go?
have, you have another minute. Yep.
So Spencer Pratt, they tried to have a gotcha moment because TMZ followed him. He's staying at the Bel Air Hotel. So he's been staying there. He's staying in Santa Monica. And he called TMZ himself. He was proactive and said, look, I know you guys are following me. And he discussed what's really going on.
This is where I live. This is where they burned my house down. So this semantics or the nuance of this is the consequences of their failed leadership. And again, I don't live at the Hotel Bel Air. I don't live in the Airstream. I don't live in the Santa Barbara. I don't have a house. They burned it down. That is why I got into this race, because of these people that will burn your house down and act like it's no problem. So this idea that anyone's like, oh, he's at a hotel. I'm at a hotel because these psychopaths are messaging me every day. They're going to kill me because Nithya Raman is calling me a fascist because I don't want people to have their kids next to drug addicts at the park or stepping in human poop when you get your matcha. I have common sense. That's not fascism.
Do you think that was a good way to handle that?
Of course. You have to go on the offense, and he's really, really good at going on that offense. So I appreciate that. All right, Amy, thanks a lot.
Too, we should point out, also real quick, we should point out, too, that he just 2 days ago got the electricity strewn to the trailer and just had water hooked up. It took that long. It's been more than a year. And it took that long to get those minuscule services that mean so much so that he can live in the trailer.
Yeah, well, he's got a story to tell. We have a story to tell here in Chicago and Illinois. We just don't have a good storyteller yet. And that's our problem. People would pay attention, but you got to tell the stories. All right, Amy, thanks a lot for joining in. You'll be back next week with me live. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, I will. All right, bye.
Okay, great. All right, real quick call from Lee in Orland Park before we have to take a break and then follow up with the other calls. Lee, welcome to the program.
Hi, Jeannie. I want to thank you for your service. As a veteran, I want to remind everybody tomorrow is Armed Forces Day. We celebrate and thank all those in uniform currently serving. And you're not going to hear it anywhere because it's like a forgotten holiday, but at least we'll hear it here, okay? And I want to ask you a quick question. Did you hear about two Army soldiers that were missing in Morocco?
Yes, I did.
Do you believe the story that they just fell off a mountain because they were on a casual hike? They were off duty. Do you believe that?
It's hard to believe, but I don't have any evidence to the contrary. But it is very difficult to believe that. But listen, things like that do happen.
But the story stinks.
Yeah, it does. I think we need more information for sure.
Okay, everybody put their flags out and say a prayer for all those currently serving. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate the phone call. And stay on the lines. The phone number here, 312-642-5600. We'll be back after this with more of Free for All Friday.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's the real story on AM 560. The Answer.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
Hey, y'all. It's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. Spent a lot of time pitching heat. Years later, the pain in my joints remind me of those days, but I'm not looking to sit still, and I definitely am not interested in going under the knife. That's why I chose QC Kinetics.
Not just for elite retired athletes. QC Kinetics gives everyday folks joint pain relief using regenerative treatments that work with your body to help repair joint damage.
No surgery, no long recovery, whether it's your knees, hips, shoulders, or back. My friends at QC Kinetics will help you get moving again so you can get back to doing the things you love.
QC Kinetics medical professionals will look at your x-rays or MRI to determine if you're a good candidate.
I trusted QC Kinetics to help me feel like myself again, and I'm proud to recommend them to you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me on this Friday. Is everybody aware of what Judge Beach has been saying? I mean, Judge Beach is trying to defend. He's trying to defend the other judge who let out Officer Bartholomew's killer. And, here's what he said. Look, you just can't always figure out what they're doing. Let's take this clip.
Chief Judge Charlie Beach has only been on the job 6 months, but he has heard the anger and the questions. Whether it's a woman set on fire on a CTA train or the killing of a cop, why do judges give pretrial release to people with a history of violence who face new charges? He says the Safety Act and move to cashless bail are not to blame.
When monetary bail existed, we had people who posted monetary bail who went out and committed atrocious offenses. It happened. It happened frequently. We no longer have monetary bail. We have other factors. Those things are still happening, right? That is the nature of a system that is designed with a presumption of innocence.
Yeah, okay. Well, guess what? Writing in CWB Chicago, retired Riverside Police Chief Tom Weitzel had a response to Beach's rhetorical question. How do you predict another person's actions? Start with the obvious, his criminal history. When a violent offender begs to be held in custody, do it. Yeah, no, there's going to be a lot more about this because these judges need to be held accountable for what they've done. Glenn in Orland Park had a question on this. He's been waiting for quite a while. Glenn, welcome to the program. Orlando.
Hi, Jeanne. I'm in Orlando. But anyway, there's been a couple of high-profile murders in Chicago. And I still don't see any movement on the Safety Act. And, I know that I have no skin in the game, but I'm angry because I'm looking for justice for these people, for the families and for the citizens. And it just seems to be no movement. And it's like everybody who seeks justice should really be angry because nothing's happening.
Yeah. No, you're right, Glenn. Nothing is happening. But, according to Brandon Johnson, we're doing great. Listen to this.
But here's the other thing. We've revamped our Detectives Bureau, right? And so now you have police departments within our entire enterprise communicating with each other. And now we have a clearance rate at 72, 73%. It's the highest it's been in over a decade.
Actually, nobody believes that because part of your clearance rate, from my understanding, is that you couldn't solve the crime, so it's just cleared. You couldn't take it anywhere. But I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert on that. But there's no way that it's 72% clearance rate on some of these violent crimes. There's absolutely no way. And especially because now, you've heard that they can't even find 8% of the people that are left out on felony release. They're released even though they have a felony. They're on electronic monitoring. 8% of them are gone. 8%. It's just stuff you can't make up. All right, Glenn, thanks a lot for the phone call. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Eduardo wants to weigh in quick. Eduardo, let's go to you. What's going on?
Yeah, Jeannie, I'm sure you talked about this 1901 project where they want to do.
I did talk about that earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, sorry I missed that because I was in some kind of orientation. Because I mentioned that because over here, looks like the baseball team, the Rays, who was in St. Petersburg, is going to be doing a stadium here. They just got a vote on it, but they came to some agreement. I saw this on the news. And I kind of think that any of these people that want to build stadiums or entertainment centers, whether it's over there or over down here, we should have not. They say they're not going to, it's not going to be taxpayer, but that's what they say now. But you come like down the road where everybody's asleep, and there you go. Because they mentioned the one guy in the radio today over here on the local TV. It's like paying $1,000.
Hey, Eduardo.
Check that out.
I got to go. Thanks a lot. Yeah, no, we covered that. It's a massive project. It's a boondoggle. I want to leave you with this. This is John Fetterman talking about Juliana Stratton's commercial.
Well, consider the other side. The Democratic sides, their commercials are literally Trump.
Right.
Yeah,
I know.
It just keeps cutting, different people saying Trump. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're going to love that in a purple state. Try to win a national argument, and by announcing, the party's leader and your voters, that's your platform.
Well, there you go. That was him about Juliana Stratton's commercial, and he was on with Bill Maher, and he's right. That's all they got is blank Trump, and that's nowhere to go, and we're going to win. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.
Twitchy.com brings you the latest in social news, highlighting and reacting to important conversations.